This video is a bit random, really. The idea just came to me like 10 seconds ago. I thought I'll do it while it's still fresh in my mind. It's just about why I consider learning disability nursing to be a really exciting field, a really unique field. I mean, obviously there's only four anyway, so they've all got their own unique characteristics. But obviously, I might be a little bit biased towards LD, um, but I just think it's the best one, and I want to share that with you. So I hope if you're watching this, you already have sort of a preconceived idea of learning disability as being good, but you just want to hear that view from someone that's already on the course. Yeah, I mean, with learning disability nursing, you've got, if you're an adult nurse, you work with adults, and if you're a child nurse, you work with children, and if you're a mental health nurse, you work with people with mental health problems, whether that's children or adults as well. But with LD, you work with the whole range, so you can work with children, you can work with adults, and you can work with people with, people with learning disabilities that have mental health problems, so it covers the whole range. And learning disabilities therefore acquire the skills at uni to learn how to support those people. Um, it's cradle to the grave. Babies, children, young adults, elderly adults. In end of life palliative care settings. And there's so many places you can take your degree. It's unreal. You can. You can even be in hospitals. You can be part of the health facilitation team like I've done before, and I've talked about that in a separate video which you can watch if you haven't seen it already. There's community nursing, there's forensics. That's working with offenders. That's what I'm doing on my next placement. So I don't know a lot about it yet, but I will do soon, and I'll get back to you on that. You can work in prisons, you can work in respite, you can work in special needs schools, you can work as a specialist epilepsy nurse, which is something else I'm considering. Um, you know, you can work in dual diagnosis, people with LD and mental health. There's a huge array of places where this career can take you, not just residential home management or day center management. Although that is there, and absolutely the demand for LD nurses is great for that. So yeah, but in terms of working as a nurse and studying LD nursing, I think it's really exciting. When you work with someone with a disability, the spectrum is so wide. Like you've got someone with a mild learning. There's four categories. There's mild, moderate, severe, and profound. So if you've got someone with a mild LD, perhaps not even walking past them down the street, you might not even know they've got a learning disability. And obviously, but so the impairment is just a small cognitive impairment, not necessarily something you can see physically. So the input they need from a nurse is potentially nothing or very little. But then there's people from that are on the profound end of the scale that need like constant care. They've got very complex physical health issues and issues with behaviour and sensory issues, and they need a lot of emotional support and really challenging. And obviously, the reason why I find LD additionally exciting is that obviously not only have you got the learning disability to deal with, but you've got the health issue to deal with as well. So, and obviously with LD, there's a huge barrier to communication because 90% of people with learning disability have some form of communication impairment. Whether that's how they articulate their speech, if they can, or whether that's their understanding of the speech that comes towards them, so that's receptive communication. But it's a really important job. You've got to be able to assess what the problem is. Like if someone can't tell you, like if I've got a headache, I can go to the doctor's surgery and say I've got this is what's wrong with me. I can go to the shop and say I need some paracetamol. But someone with a learning disability can't do that. Some of them can. I'm not saying that that's not a universal thing, but some of them can't. So for those that can't, learning disability nurses have to be able to assess the skill, person. They'll get the skills to do that at uni, so they can hopefully find out what's wrong, identify the cause, and then treat it appropriately. So that's like an additional challenge. Obviously, if there's a person in distress, I want to be able to help that person and do what I can to do that. So I think it's really exciting that you have to deal with the learning disability itself. So whatever challenges that throws at you, like the communication issues, any sort of behavioural difficulties, you have to do that plus the health issue as well. And however many there are, like obviously there's in LD, there's more health issues than there are in the general population, and then they're more prevalent. And as the disability increases, so if it's more severe found, then the severity of that condition is more severe. And like with epilepsy, there's a higher rate of epilepsy in people with disabilities than there are without. And the more severe the disability, the more A, likelihood that person is likely to have epilepsy, and B, the more severe that epilepsy will be. So it's just really, really exciting. Like, and especially if you work in the community, like no 2 days are ever going to be the same. If you've got a big caseload of 20 clients, I just think it's really exciting, really. So I think I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. This a bit random, this video, but I just want to sort of justify, if that's the right word, why I feel as passionate about LD as I do. Obviously part of being involved in the vlogs is to try and talk about the course with people that are watching, whether they're already at the university or thinking about it. Um, but my advice is, if you are considering LD, do it. This is without doubt the best decision I've ever made in my life. I'm halfway through my training. It's gone so fast. I can't believe that next July I'm going to be a qualified nurse in less than 18 months. Next July, it's February 2013, and in July 2014, I'm going to be an RNLD. That's pretty weird. And this time in 2 years, I could have been having a job as a staff nurse for 6 months. Hey, that's just crazy. So the support you get here at uni is crazy. You get while you're on placement, you've got support from uni, you've got your mentor on placement, you've got the PDD for support with assignments and maths, and it's incredible. You can talk about with any concerns you've got, and the course layout is brilliant. They've got state-of-the-art facilities. It's really good. So for LD nursing, this is a really top university, and I'm so pleased that I've come here and I've got one of the places, and and the fact that I'm being sort of encouraged to inspire potentially other people to do the course is great, and I feel really proud to do that. And the responsibility is something that I'm really enjoying. And so, like I said, if anyone is thinking about it, obviously it's a big decision to make, but it's one I've gone for, obviously, and it's one I would advise you to go for as well. So that's it, really. BC Youth Cities, I just touched on then. I might make a separate video about that. Actually, I've just decided, so I'm going to do that after this now. But I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll do it again. But if you want to watch that, then click on that later. But bye for now.